The believer has this odd impression that everybody's going to be saved, while at the same time believing everybody ain't going to be saved. The believer believes that there will be people going to hell. What they have a hard time believing is that it's going to be part of my family. The world can go to hell, but not my family. Not my cousin them, not my uncle them, not my immediate family, not my own flesh and blood. Can't have that. But them people over there in Hindu land, in Islam land, in Baha land, out of sight, out of mind. All them folks over there in Africa, them, worshiping whatever they worship. Why? Because there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect from them, and there's a connection to our flesh and blood that we grew up in intimate circles with, and that shows our disconnect from him. Because even though you may be disconnected from those people in distant lands, they're his people. And he is just as concerned about them as you are about your son or your daughter. And there's why he says, go. But instead of going, we go to them and put all that energy into them when he said, listen, your problems are going to be the people in your house. A man's enemies will be those of his own house. You better open your eyes, because you got enemies all around you and you can't even see them, while ignoring the people that Father has called you to and is waiting on you. That's some folks that we've been assigned to, called to. And so the answer to that question, Margie, is yeah. There will be people. There will be people, family members, who have disconnected. They're people that we know. And you know them. You've tried to tell them when you was a Sunday person about Jesus, and they rejected it. And now as a Sabbath keeper, and you try to tell them about Yeshua, and they reject it. You try to lead them to salvation, and they ain't ready. You try to tell them to get their act together, and they say, one day I will. And you tell them that that direction you're going and that lifestyle you're living is going to cost you. And they say, well, I don't play with God. Oh, you'll play with the devil, but you won't play with God. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Well, let me tell you something. The devil has only got, he's on a mission to steal, to kill, and to destroy. You got a better time, you got a better chance of playing with him than you ever will of playing with him. At least if you get in the ring with him and start talking to him and start reading, something might click, but ain't nothing gonna click over here. You might show up for service one day, and might hear something, and that word, that one word you heard just changed your life. But the chances of you hearing it is slim to none if you don't take the step. So yeah, there's some family members that are going to bust hell wide open. I don't want to see it happen. But this is the consequence of rejecting knowledge, rejecting the truth, rejecting the gospel. Yes, ma'am.
I came to that understanding, too, that there's going to be some people that I know that ain't going to make it. And, I can't allow myself to get all upset about it. I have to just pray, because as long as they have breath, as you have said, there is hope. But I'm gonna tell you, I was talking to a relative of mine, somebody close, and he was saying he was going through stress. And so I said, "Well, how do you deal with your stress?" Before I got ready to say something to him about the Lord. So he said, "Oh, I watch sports games. I go to the gym." And so I said, hold it now. I said, "What's your relationship with the Lord?" "Oh, I got a good relationship with the Lord. I pray every once in a while, and I have been to church." So in the next sentence, you know where I'm going. I'm going to tell them something about the Lord. And they said, "Hold it, Sharon, just hold it now." You know, they was shutting me down before I got started. You know, and so I can't do more than that, than to kind of back off and pray, because then I'm getting into a battle with somebody, and the battle is not going to help, because the battle is just going to push them further from me. They will call less when they see my caller ID, not pick up the phone. So I just have to kind of step back and then just pray about that. But I have to recognize everybody that I want to come into the kingdom is not going to come. I'm going to know some of them people. I know some of those people. And so, but we have to just keep on keeping on the best we can, because in order for them to get in my spirit and to take me down, then I risk that I ain't going to hear when the Lord is talking to me.
And that's a key piece of everything you said, because the assumption that we all gonna make it. I mean, I know for a fact. I used to preach and teach and was taught predestination from a perspective, once saved, always saved. And then I was in another denomination that taught predestination, but not from once saved, always saved perspective, but from the elect. And there are two totally different concepts of the once saved, always saved. And one, it was you're born into it and you practice this religion. The other is you invite Jesus into your heart, and if you invite him into your heart, you're sealed unto the day of redemption. But then Yeshua tells us, he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. And that enduring process is the process that keeps me in a state of mind to where I have to make sure that I don't allow myself to get into a prideful state that I'm in. Because sometimes we can get into that place to where you're in like Flynn, when the fact of the matter is that when's the last time you examined yourself? Now, in this one church that I was in that taught once saved, always saved, there were things called assurance of salvation. To where in case you had doubt about your salvation, then we will assure you are saved, because you've been saved. And once you're saved, you will always be saved, even though from time to time we have to assure you that you're saved. And so with all of these kinds of philosophies and theologies and doctrines that are out there, the only way that you can be assured is that you walk in lockstep with the Word, that you receive the work of the Holy Spirit in your life, that you look at the teachings that is given to us by the Bible, in the Bible, by the Almighty, and that you do your best to align yourself up with those words and walk and shema what is written.
For more information, visit www.arthurbaileyministries.com or call 888-899-1479. House of Israel International Services is made possible through financial contributions from brothers and sisters like you. Thank you.